Hi, everybody. I'm here to talk about decentralized exchange and our pragmatic approach via Paradex. Can you help me advance the slides? So, decentralized exchange right now means a lot of things to different people, but the reality is right now that a truly decentralized exchange is more aspirational than true. Part of the problem is that the current blockchain capabilities don't really provide a great UI UX for everything to do with trading, and that some of the on-chain trading solutions don't really match the scale of the current blockchains that we're using. So, as a broad bucket, the big challenge for us is to try to figure out a way we can migrate liquidity from centralized exchanges and bring it to decentralized exchange. And to do that, we found the 0x protocol, which has built an upgradable and modular tool set that allows us to keep the great things about trading, which works well now, but also benefit from settlement on a public blockchain and the transparency and benefits that that has, and still be non-custodial. So we've taken that a step further by designing on top of 0x using the matching model. And what the matching model means is that we are the only counterparty to every order. That allows us to provide a real trading experience where it's very hard for other people to jump in front of trades that are being executed underway and still provide that fast and familiar trading experience that we expect. Paradex is non-custodial. We think that's the right balance with the scheme of technology that we have available to us right now. If we had to pick one problem that we wanted to eliminate, it's that aspect of trust between centralized and non-custodial, where users are empowered by keeping control of their own assets. This is what Paradex looks like. It's got a traditional order book, order ticket. There's a mobile that looks very familiar, very intuitive. Open orders and history, dashboards, and all the information you need to keep your situational awareness very high. We're trying not to make compromises just because it's blockchain. So some of the big benefits that we have by using the decisions we've made is that instant cancellations. This means that we can attract market makers to participate who need to cancel and replace orders very quickly as volatility increases. The second thing is we've replicated a real order book. That means first come, first served. That's fairness and that's equity. It's always a fresh order book, instantly updated. Order cancellations are removed from the book immediately. The big thing that we've seen with previous decentralized efforts is front running. Because we are the only possible order matcher, That allows us to make sure nobody else can jump in the middle of a trade that's already been committed to. And then what everybody expects from real trading experience is that we respect price time priority. So some of the takeaways that we've learned from building Paradex is that trading should just work. We shouldn't be making excuses because we've built trading on top of blockchain. The second thing is, if we are going to make excuses, if we're going to say, well, it's because it's blockchain that we're slow, or we have to wrap, or we have to set allowances, it's going to take a long time to migrate liquidity from centralized exchanges to decentralized exchanges. So we think the DEX part of DEX should be invisible. And then the third big takeaway, and this is really where we think the 0x model plays in perfectly with what we've built, is that you don't have to throw everything away. Right now, the most pragmatic solution for trading on the blockchain is to use the trading experience on a centralized matching engine, which is really good right now. But the big benefit of using the public blockchain for settlement and transparency is something that doesn't force a compromise on trading. And that's the combination that we have. There's a lot coming up for decentralized exchange just besides traditional trading. These are some of the things that hundreds of teams are working on right now, and all of these things can be traded in a non-custodial way, and all of them benefit from using a public blockchain for transparency and immutability. Non-fungible tokens, kitties, collectibles, huge effort being undertaken with tokenized securities now, derivatives, financial tokens, lending, margin, curation, curated lists, governance aspects, voting, and then slicing and dicing all kinds of different assets like artwork, real estate, prediction markets, oracles, and tons of other things, combinations of tokens, some of the things that will make trading lots of broad assets easier and simple in one quick shot. A couple things have to happen, and that these are area and problem spaces that we're very interested in based upon what we know and what we've learned so far. The first big area is wallet and identity management isn't perfect. There's still a lot of fear and fright. Even myself, when I push the button to send tokens from here to there, it's a very anxiety-provoking experience. So wallet and identity has a long way to go. Using the blockchain still has some weird UX burdens that we have to get past. Wrapping tokens, setting allowances, these are things that are unfamiliar to people that trade currently, and we have to make those things almost invisible. Another big topic that security tokens and financial tokens are coming into our existence about, we need to understand how to coexist with regulatory and KYC requirements. The market has changed and fluctuates based upon the availability of these new funding projects. And if we don't have a compliant regulatory and KYC strategy, it's going to be very difficult for this level of funding and innovation to continue. And then the last thing is to think about, if we want the world to be able to trade, we do need to have a very effective and seamless way to interact with fiat rails. If there's any questions, I'm happy to field them in the halls after the presentation. And then really be grateful to get in touch if you have any questions. We're live on paradex.io. We have a Twitter feed and some Medium posts. And thank you very much.